Directors of Ceremonies, the Chairperson of the Otjozondjupa Regional Council, Honorable Johannes Hausigu, all constituency councillors and honorable members of the Parliament, Acting Chief Regional Officer of Otjozondjupa Region, Mr. Shikongo Alwento in absentia, Your Worship, the mayors of different various municipalities and town councils, honorable local authority councillors and different local authorities, chief executive officers from both public and private institutions, regional heads of government, offices, ministries and agencies, management staff and other high-ranking officials, esteemed traditional leaders and religious leaders, distinguished business personalities, fellow Namibians, followers live on these TV, radio services and social media platforms, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed, and good morning to you all. Good morning to you all. I am pleased to deliver my first State of the Region address since my appointment by Her Excellency President Netumbo Ntaitwa in terms of Article 110, subsection A, sub-article 5 and 6. I am mandated by the Constitution of the Republic of Namibia to give a State of the Region address at the council meeting of the Otjozondjupa region on the developmental achievements and planned activities of the region. Equally so, to report on the previous year's activities of the central government and other developmental partners in the region. The state of address is aligned to Vision 2030, National Developmental Plans of 2025 and 2030, SWAPO Manifesto Implementation Plan, and SWAPO Party Manifesto. With reference to my appointment mandate by Her Excellency President Dr. Netumbo Ntaitwa, I must take initiative and implement regional planning and development policies in consultation with Otjozondjupa Regional Council in the area to ensure sustainable livelihood for our people through provision of decent shelter and poverty alleviation. I must oversee the full implementation of the developmental programs aimed at acceleration of access to land for residential, commercial, agriculture purposes for overall socio-economic development. To answer to the clarion call of our president to do away with import of food, I regarded Otjozondjupa region as a breadbasket of Namibia. We are blessed with water and fertile soil in this region. In Okahandja, we have a big reservoir dams of Crossbarmen, Swakoport Dam, and Von Bach Dam. Hence, we need to buy all farms around Okahandja town and work agriculture, horticulture projects, orchard farming, poultry and egg production. We must at least cater 1 hectare of land for individual farmers. Same applies to Otavi with Otavi Fountain and Combat, where we can have access and extract water from Combat mine that is submerged currently. Grootfontein is surrounded by fertile soil and fountains. I would like to encourage horticulture activities in above mentioned towns for food security. It is my dream to do away with the combined school system where from grade 0 to grade 11 learners that are grouped together. I would like to opt for subdivision of primary learners from the secondary learners in hostel and at school. I would like to see sewerage systems in most of the towns to be upgraded. Simply, the yearly plan of capital projects must be done concurrently with the people that we represent at town councils and at municipalities. Youth and women empowerment will be one of my highest priorities of my mandate. We are blessed with vocational training centers at Rietfontein, Berg-Ogas, and Okakarara. We must, at the moment, NAST want to leave its footprint by bringing agriculture college in our region. Give them a round of applause. As far as housing is concerned, my concept of old rural houses to be revisited, the houses that we called old Katutura houses or old Otoveni houses, 4-bedroom houses, by expanding them in 1 meter at sides, bring toilet and shower, and put them on a reasonable level for further expansion to avoid the capacious mass roaming into our towns. Against this background, unemployed youth be trained into bricklaying and plastering at VDC and COSTECH at large scale to ease housing pressure through available funding from GIPF, unlisted loan, development bank loan, youth credit scheme, and Velvicha Sovereign Wealth Fund, as well as the proceeds from oil and gas discovery. Namibia is a major copper producing giant, with Zambia and DRC must set up a copper manufacturing plant at Otjozondjupa to answer to the clarion call of our president that we cannot export raw material rather than finished products into the markets. I am calling on Okakarara Vocational Training Center in partnership with the Namibian Training Authority to broaden their curriculum and work together with Namibian Institute of Mining and Technology in Arandes and Khamuseb. They must include mining-related training in the field of boiler making, feeder antenna, diesel and plant mechanism mechanics, occupational health and safety therapy for mining and mining equipment maintenance, etc. By producing specialized training in mining-related discipline, our local youth can become technically competent and industry-ready and competitive, ensuring the mining benefits in Otjozondjupa. Okakarara vocational training can go into partnership with Otjozondjupa Regional Council, municipalities and others, and render services to the region through job attachment. On resettlement, I'm going to encourage a group resettlement as the region is faced with a lot of generational workers that has been dumped in corridors. Most of these people are using municipal towns and villages as the only hope of their animals. So our people needs land. Our people need livestock as source of survival. I'm going to ensure that the road between Grootfontein and Chomkwe is upgraded to bitumen standards. It is 34 years after independence, but this road has become a discussion in the corridor lines of the road authority. Tangible decisions must be taken, and the commencement day of the road must be announced so that this road can commence. Bitukol will open a new Antelope underground mine in the near future. Karlsfeld will open a rare earth mineral mine, and they will come on board. At Elefantsberg, copper mine will start in near future near Otavi. At the same time, Korab gold mine will emerge also 50 kilometers from Otavi. It is where we need the technical mining skills of our children. Currently, Osino mine is going to open at Karibib, and these are job opportunities for our youth. It was at Omakari or Hamakari that the real battle of genocide took place. We need a museum with skulls of our people in the area and a big lodge with a capacity to accommodate 100 tourists per day, fully funded through Namibian Investment Trust and sponsorship for job creation for our youth and women in Otjozondjupa region. Give them a round of applause. Otjozondjupa region spends over 105 kilometers with about 220,811 people, reflecting a low population density. It consists of 7 constituencies, 9 settlements, and 5 towns. 3 being part 2 municipalities, Otjozondjupa, Okahanja, and Grootfontein, and 2 town councils, Okakarara and Otavi. The settlements are poised for elevation to a local authority status, and the towns offers distinct development opportunities that could foster complementary economic growth across the region. Effective governance and institutions. Otjozondjupa region is committed to strengthening good governance by upholding its core principal values with strong emphasis on inclusive participation. The approach encourages active involvement from both government and private sectors to deliver service that are timely, effective, meaningful, and sustainable. Honorable Chairperson, fellow citizens, ladies and gentlemen, during the 2024-25 financial year, the Anti-Corruption Commission identified its fight against corruption in Otjozondjupa region through education campaign, outreach, and investigations. A total of 19 cases were handled, 8 before the court, 6 under investigation, and 5 are referred to the Prosecutor General's office. Cases involve misuse of fuel cards, irregular recruitment, and abuse of office, implicating several institutions. Despite progress, challenges such limited staff, lack of cooperation, and bureaucratic delays persist. Strengthening ACC with more resources and support is vital for enhancing transparency, accountability, and good governance in the region. Honorable Chairperson, esteemed council members, and the fellow citizens, I now present to you the key achievements, developments, and challenges in maintaining law and order in the Otjozondjupa region. The political atmosphere in the region remains stable. Security and intelligence operations have been intensified in coordination with the special services to safeguard the peace and the national security as part of the government employment creation drive. 117 cadets constables were recruited in 2024-25 financial year from Otjozondjupa region, comprising of 56 female and 61 males. Their 9-month training commenced on the 1st of August 2024 and concluded on 23rd of May 2025. In our efforts to maintain public safety, 35 crime prevention operations were conducted, resulting in 359 arrests. Stolen items worth of 1.4 million were recovered, and several illegal weapons and substances were confiscated. The security and safety of our communities remain top priorities. In response to the tragic rape and murder of 3 young girls in Okahanja, Her Excellency President Netumbo Ntaitwa created a special team to investigate the crimes. The investigation is still in process, and a reward of $120,000 is being offered to anyone who can help police arrest the people responsible. To support the police, a special crime prevention and combating operation called Iron Fist was launched in Okahanja, and it is currently underway. I want to use this opportunity to announce the death of our struggle icon, our hero of the liberation struggle, the founding father of Otjozondjupa political liberation strategy, in the name of Comrade Lazarus Khamuseb, together with the 3 girls that were murdered in Okahanja. I want to call a solemn minute of silence in honor of this 4 deceased. Attention! at ease. You may sit down. In addition, police officers played a vital role in maintaining law and order during the critical national events. These include deployment of the general voters registration held from June to August in 2024, the presidential and national assembly elections in November and December in 2024, and the regional memorial service of our founding president, the late Dr. Sam Nujoma in Grootfontein in February 2025. Otjozondjupa region recorded 2.8% reduction in crime compared to previous year, 2023-2024. However, stock theft, assault, rape, culpable homicide, fraud, and housebreaking remain of a concern. Honorable members, during 2024-25 period, Otjozondjupa region reported several serious crimes, including the tragic road accidents in Otavi that claims the life of 9 people. The region also saw 6,770 traffic fines issued, 109 driving under influence arrested, and 46 accident. Poaching and stock theft remain major concerns. We have 10 rhino cases reported and 228 stock theft cases, leading to 170 arrests. Financial constraints delayed key police infrastructure projects. Despite these challenges, the law enforcement remains committed to ensuring safety and justice in the region. Honorable members, the Department of National Civic Registration maintains committed to the timely and accurate recording of vital events in Otjozondjupa region. These include birth and death registrations, marriages, identity documents, and issuance of duplicate certificates and ID cards. The department operates under key frameworks, namely the Constitution of the Republic of Namibia, the Birth, Marriages, and Death Registration Acts, the Identification of Acts, and United Nations Convention on the Right of the Child. During 2024-25 financial year, the department did not implement any capital projects in the region, but several operational programs were successfully carried out. A total of 6,524 births were registered, in which 2,973 were timely registrations and 3,551 were late. To enhance service delivery, the e-birth and e-death notification systems were implemented across all state hospitals and selected clinics in the region, facilitating timely transmission of information to the ministry. A total of 927 deaths were registered during the review period. In terms of identification and identity documentation, the department has processed 7,710 ID applications, including 2,940 new and 4,770 duplicate applications. A total of 10,600 ID cards were collected. The department also brought services closer to the communities through mass outreach and school mobile programs. These efforts led to hundreds of new and late registration, birth registrations, duplicate certificates, applications, biometric verifications, and identification of undocumented individuals. However, the challenges persist. There remains a large number of uncollected documents, including 4,064 ID cards, 85 confirmation letters, and 14 marriage certificates. Late birth registration continue to be a concern. Some parents fail to comply with the legal 1-month registration window period. Going forward, the department will strengthen the advocacy to efforts to encourage timely birth registration and ensure that all residents, regardless of their location, have access to national documents, agriculture. Honorable members, the heartbeat of Namibia. In terms of agriculture, the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Land Reform supported 824 households with subsidized agricultural inputs under the Dryland Crop Production Program and Namibian Agriculture Mechanization and Seed Improvement Project, NAMSEP, distributing 15.5 tons of seed, include pearl millets, our mahangu, maize, cowpeas, sorghum, and posture, to enhance household food security in the region and the country. Through the dryland crop production programs, a combined 432 households benefited from the subsidized mechanized tillage and planting and waiting service, converting to 973 hectares during the last cropping season. This reflects 226 hectare increase attributed to improved rainfall and extension of the government tractors from 8 tractors to 18 in the region. Give us a round of applause. Off record, we will buy more tractors and move Burkina Faso away. Give them a round of applause. Under the small livestock distribution and development in communal areas, the Ministry of Agriculture distributed 483 goats to 23 vulnerable households in Okagarara, Chumkwe, Omatago constituency. We want to encourage more livestock revolving credit scheme of this nature. After we have the beautiful rain, our livestock died, and therefore this section must be overemphasized. Each household received training, veterinarian supplies, and husbandry tools to promote sustainable livestock farming and improve livelihoods. Furthermore, the ministry assisted 45 horticulture farmers in Otjozondjupa by subsidizing the input, for example, fertilizers, pesticides, seeds, and etc., and irrigation equipment, the material, to a total amount of over $800,000 through horticulture value scheme and developmental scheme during the period in review. Give the ministry a round of applause. Under poultry value chain development scheme, which is an intervention also being implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Land Reform, about 500,000 was utilized by poultry producers in Otjozondjupa region, where they were assisted with the subsidized feed, production stock, material for housing, and veterinarian supplies. The region is piloting the dairy value chain development scheme to boost the local milk production and modernize rural dairy farming. During the review period, over 2 million was used to support 31 farmers with subsidized dairy livestock, feed equipment, and training. Additionally, 33 producers and officials received capacity building in dairy products at Cheetah Conservation and Junam Noetam College under these programs for the period under review in Otjozondjupa region. That's why Otjozondjupa region should become the bread and basket. We are not going to import milk from South Africa and other countries. We must encourage local products. Lastly, over 2,000 crop and livestock producers received technical support and training on sustainable and climate-resilient farming practices from DABIS in collaboration with the stakeholders through various platforms such as training sessions, farm visits, and demonstration days. Farmers must learn from each other. Water infrastructure development in Otjozondjupa region, Honorable Chairperson and the fellow citizens. Directorate of Water Supplies and Sanitation Coordination is responsible for providing, managing, and maintaining rural water and sanitation services to ensure access to clean water and safe water. A total of 11 boreholes were drilled during the said period across the constituencies, churches, Okakarara and Chumkwe. Of these, 8 boreholes were successfully completed, while 3 attempts yielded no water, remaining as with the region's complex hydrogeological conditions. We are in sandy areas, and drilling of water in sandy areas becomes a difficult thing. Moreover, insignificant push to expand access. 17 new boreholes were successfully installed across constituencies, including Omatako, Okahanja, Okakarara, Odavi, Chumkwe, and Ochiwarongo. This marks a critical milestone in ensuring safe and sustainable water supply for our rural settlements. One existing borehole was rehabilitated in Okakarara constituency, reaffirming our capacity to act swiftly in crisis. Total investment in water infrastructure amounted to 14.3 million, underscoring the government's ongoing commitment to improving the lives of the residents through reliable water access. Land reform, land reform, land reform. Honorable Chairperson, fellow citizens in Otjozondjupa, ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Water and Land Reform, as part of its mandate, acquired 4 farms in our region, namely the farm Omkir, number 204, portion 2, Vergenoeg, and the remaining extent of the farm Adrata, number 925, as well as portion 19 of farm Omurampa, number 341. These were subdivided into 5 farming units with a combined size of 7,225 hectares. The total investment for these resettlement farms amounted to over $18 million. In response to the increasing demand for land, 4 of these farms were advertised and successfully allotted to 8 landless Namibians. I am pleased to report that 2 of the beneficiaries are from our region, Otjozondjupa. A round of applause for yourself. With the remaining beneficiaries coming from Kunene, Omaheke, Kavango West, Hardap, and Wangwena regions. I remain hopeful that the future resettlement will prioritize more of our residents. The residents in Otjozondjupa also need land. Otjozondjupa Regional Resettlement Committee received 671 applications during the reporting period. Of these, 24 applications were recommended for approval, and 8 were successfully resettled, comprising of 5 men and 3 women. Round of applause for the women. The future is women, the present is women. I must commend those resettled farmers for honoring their obligations by paying lease fees amounted over $200,000. These funds are critical in supporting the government's resettlement programs and infrastructure development. I encourage all resettled beneficiaries to remain compliant in paying their lease fees and be productive. You know the consequences. If you don't pay the lease fees, these farms does not belong to the persons on which they are resettled. It must be crystal clear. These farms remain state land. You are having the usage right of these farms. That must be clear. Don't play with any opportunity that you are given. There are so many land-hungry Namibians with the applications that are ending up every day on our tables. New Zamaround Resettlement Project near Compat. The ministry invested $125,000 to service farmland implements. I am particularly proud to highlight that beneficiaries themselves contributed $22,410 towards the operational cost. That is an example of those that are appreciating the resettlement process. Demonstrating a growing sense of self-reliance, a total of 63 hectares were plowed and 257 grass bales were produced and sold for 21,845. However, delays in diesel procurement negatively impacted the projects. I therefore recommend that project funds be administered by Otjozondjupa Regional Council to fast-track the future procurement. I want to pause here and reiterate what I said on my first day of inauguration. I want full decentralization of state functions and finances to the regions. I still echo these sentiments for being the reason that in most cases, money that was earmarked is sent back to the central government due to bureaucratic delays. During my term of office of 5 years, I don't want to see one single cent sent back to the central government while our people are living in absolute poverty and destitute state. You can realign money to another ministries if you don't want it for the reason you have budgeted it for. It must be a clarion call that must be clear right from the onset. Transgressing these will have negative implications for the persons that are perpetuating this, because my government is being blamed for unnecessary delays to return that money. We need money. We cannot send money back. In the areas of communal development, the ministry under the programs for communal land development completed the installation of water infrastructure in Gam settlement. These are Otjozondjupa, Tura, Otjozondjupa, Okoroho, Onjompa, Jateku, Omagete, Ouha, and Otjihere. These infrastructures, valued at 23.5 million, will be officially handed over during the 25-26 financial year. Furthermore, over 679 communal farmers, 92 from Chumkwe West, and 578 from Gam, received a vital advisory services on farm management and animal husbandry, and the rangeland care, further empowering our communities. With regards to the land rights, the Otjozondjupa Communal Land Board registered 168 customary land rights and 2 leaseholds in 2023-24 financial year. Sorry. This was supported an allocation of 43,980 for mapping and verification. Registered land rights reduce disputes and provide security of tenure and compensation for our people. Furthermore, in cooperation with the National Youth Service, the region removed 27 illegal fences in Okagarara and Chumkwe West communal areas. These illegal fences denied other communal farmers access to land and commonage areas that need to be shared by all of us. Contrary to the Communal Land Reform Act, the removal restores fairness and accessible access for all. Despite these achievements, challenges persist. The demand for farmland continues to outpace the supply, creating intense competition for resettlement opportunities. The ministry has initiated consultation on the revised settlement criteria under the new National Resettlement Policy of 2023. It is my hope that the framework will help improve the efficiency and the fairness of our land distribution. I therefore appeal to the people of Otjozondjupa and indeed all Namibians to exercise patience as the government continues to implement the resolution of land conference and ensure the meaningful access to land for all Namibians. May I, at this moment, salute our daughter of our soil of Otjozondjupa, our current Minister of Land, Agriculture and Water, Comrade Inge Zamwani, for tabling the new land bill that gives us access to land and at the same time consider all the hiccups that we experienced during the allocation of the land to our landless people. I hope that this law would go through the parliament and be signed, the bill will go through parliament and be signed as a law, and at the same time alleviate the stress that it gave us as the land resettlement committees. Give her a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable chairperson, fellow citizens, sport remains a powerful unifier and a vehicle for national pride and social development. You can recall what the brave warriors did to us during their game with South Africa. It gave us the national pride, and we stood up as Namibian nation and screamed on top of our voices. Give them the round of applause. As per our mandate to promote and develop sport at all levels, I am proud to report on the strides made in the Otjozondjupa region in areas of sport. According to the SWAPO Party manifesto, sport has been designated as the second highest national priority. In line with this, government has committed to construction of basic sport infrastructure in all 121 constituencies by the year 2028. I am pleased to inform you that land has already been acquired in Otjivarongo for the construction of ministerial sports stadium. Furthermore, there are concrete plans to develop stadiums in other towns across our region. Otjozondjupa continues to produce highly talented athletes who are making us proud on both national and international stages. Our learners are actively engaged in sport activities throughout the year. Thanks to the efforts of the Namibian School Sports Union, various sport federations in the region are hosting the competition aimed to promoting sport and talent development at grassroots level. The government has also shown continuous commitment by funding transportation of major sport competitions and facilitating community mass participation events throughout the Otjozondjupa region. I am equally proud to highlight that our region boasts of 2 football teams in Deb Marine Namibia Premier League, Mighty Ghana's football team and Oanja United, as well as 2 netball teams in the Netball Premier League, namely Mighty Ghana's Netball Club and Otjozondjupa Nempol Netball Club. Give them a round of applause. Beautiful. In addition, the shortage of funding to produce sporting equipment for various codes remains a challenge. Without proper tools, our athletes and lands are restricted from unlocking their full potential. I call on stakeholders, including the private sector, to partner with the government in uplifting sport in Otjozondjupa region. Together, we can nurture the champions of tomorrow and build a healthier and united society. With regards to youth empowerment, during the 24-25 financial year, the Directorate of Youth Development remained committed to the empowering of young people across Otjozondjupa region through the range of structures and initiatives aimed at enhancing health personnel development and economic participation. A major focus was the rollout of the priority population standardized HIV and AIDS prevention curriculum, which targeted the adolescent girls and women, as well as the adolescent boys and young men. The curriculum implemented in towns, churches Otjivarongo, Otavi, Okakarera, Ogaanja, covered key topics like sexual and reproductive health, HIV and AIDS prevention, gender equality, financial literacy, and leadership development. Throughout these efforts, young people were equipped with vital life skills to make informed decisions and lead healthier lives, more productive lives. In addition, the grassroots level skills training programs was launched specifically to adolescent boys and young men. We have strong focus on this from underprivileged communities. The training addressed crucial social challenges, including the substance abuse, school dropouts, unemployment, and gender-based violence. It also promotes skills, healthy relationship, and behavior change through an interactive learning process like sport and peer education. In Grootfontein, 27 boys were trained under this initiative. At the same time, Mayor reiterated that the Okakarara Vocational Training Center also introduced a bridge program where they take in learners that did not qualify the entry level, prepare them for the entry level, and give them chance on life. Give that institution a round of applause. On the economic front, the Namibian Youth Credit Scheme, youth, listen here. On the economic front, the Namibian Youth Credit Scheme played a central role in promoting entrepreneurship amongst the youth. My president availed 225 million this year. Youth must organize themselves. Constituency Development Committee must take a lead. Settlement Development Committee must take a lead. Rural Youth Development Committees must take a lead. Councillors in all constituencies must take a lead. Make use of your sons that went and studied and came back as retired professionals to complete these applications properly for funding. I don't want to see any one application from Otjozondjupa being disqualified on the basis of non-compliance with the application criteria, rather than complied with the criteria, but due to funding or another something to be sent back. That must be a clarion call. A total of 81 young people were trained in basic business management and entrepreneurship across the region, and 75 were successfully funded by combined loan amount of 58,000 to either start or grow their businesses. May I also give my honor to the current Deputy Minister of Education, Arts, Culture and Innovation, Paloti, who went out of his way during his term of office at Namibian Investment Board, collaborate with B2Col and take 18 youth and train them as business entrepreneurs. With the assistance of B2Col, they were graduated in April, and that graduation was attended by Honorable Paloti. Give him a round of applause. These businesses include butcheries, salons, poultry farms, welding workshops, mini market, charcoal production, and printing services. 2 rounds of training and funding disbursement were conducted between August 2024 and early in 2025, reaching out to towns like Otjiwarongo, Okahanja, Otavi, Grootfontein, Okakarara, Umatako, and Khamuseb. May I also use this opportunity to appreciate the presence of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Ilea Kurare, who officiated the graduation ceremony of charcoal producers at Rietfontein. Give him a round of applause. Further economic support was extended through the Youth Enterprise Development Initiative in collaboration with the Development Bank of Namibia, also known as 121 youth enterprise initiative. Youth, take cognizance. Don't come to governor's office and try to say, we need money. This is low-hanging money that is to your disposal. 2 youth-led businesses were funded in Otavi, focusing on event management. Another one in Chumkwe, running a mini market for improved access to basic goods. Both enterprises received equipment and technical support, and each benefiting 10 young people in their respective constituencies. In Chumkwe, a container structure was used to house the mini market as the most efficient, effective, and sustainable alternative to permanent construction. To promote agribusiness and food security, a group of 10 young people from Grootfontein constituency underwent specialized training in mushroom cultivation. This includes practical skills in production, hygiene maintenance, harvesting, and small-scale business management, which aimed at helping them establish an income-generating mushroom enterprises. The Directorate of Youth Development will continue to make meaningful progress in tackling youth challenges related to health, social issues, and economic empowerment. Programs such as grassroots training, comprehensive sexuality education, and Namibian Youth Credit Scheme have contributed to improved knowledge, skill development, and entrepreneurial growth. Moving forward, the Directorate aims to expand youth access to funding, the business support, strengthen the monitoring and evaluation systems to measure impact and deepen the partnership with other stakeholders to scale youth development programs. The ultimate goal remains to create an enabling environment for the Namibian youth to strive and become self-reliant and contribute meaningfully to the national development programs. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, the National Youth Training through Rietfontein Training Center continues to play a pivotal role in nurturing and skilled and self-reliant youth population through its complex development programs. In 2024, National Youth Services offer 12 accredited technical vocational education training programs, aligning with the Namibian Training Authority and the Namibian Qualification Authority. These programs equipped our young people with practical, industrial-related skills, bringing the gap labor market demands for our youth competencies. A total of 361 trainees were enrolled in achieving the remarkable completion of rate of 94% and competency rate of 87%. This outcome is resounding endorsement of services contributed to youth employment and self-employment in line with the current administration's manifesto. Across its production centers, National Youth Council continue to champion food security through agronomy, horticulture, and livestock farming. Although only 10% of the available 1,000 hectares of land, arable land, are utilized due to water constraints, the tangible strides are being made. The Central North will expand its effort through the procurement of these center poverts, covering 12 hectares to horticulture and 10 hectares for maize production, and marking the bold transition towards irrigated agriculture. This investment is forward-looking initiative aimed at enhancing productivity and climate resilience. I want to pause there. Currently, combat mine submerged underwater. Mr. von Biljoen, who is the neighbor, told us that if we can put up in water extraction mechanisms worth 2 million solar plant, we can feed water to Rietfontein, and the rest of the water can join the Eastern Water Carrier Canal, and it can reach Otjiwarongo, and we can put one reservoir at Otjozondjupa and not be dependent on Otjidadu reservoir, which disappeared after the rain. In partnership with the Lion Ministry, National Youth Council has launched a self-employment charcoal scheme, training 630 youth in first aid, biomass harvesting, and charcoal processing. This project was only promote sustainable resources, but it has already yielded 1.7% tons of charcoal, demonstrating both economic viability and environmental stewardship. That is the project that the Right Honorable Prime Minister opened in a sustainable way and officiate a graduation ceremony of those graduates. Together, this initiative reflects our unwavering commitment to youth development, food security, and inclusive economic growth. This commends the Namibian National Youth for its services and dedication in realization the aspirations of our region and our nation. I want to pause and say the following. We cannot harvest our fields only for charcoal. I want the youth to open up their minds and think in terms of introduction of paper mill so that we stop importing our toilet papers from South Africa, stop importing our stationery of schools from South Africa, even start to produce toilet papers and duplication papers instead of importing them from South Africa. There are opportunities out there. Let the youth open their eyes and ears and come up with constructive economic viable projects to the office of the governor. Economic transformation and inclusive growth. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, in pursuit of economic transformation and industrial growth, the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy remains focused on developing the robust regulatory framework, promoting investment, creating conducive environment for trade and industrialization and manufacturing in Otjozondjupa region. As part of the commitment to economic diversification, the ministry through Otjozondjupa Regional Council has continued to serve the communities and businesses across various economic sectors. We want to see the orchards from where mangoes are taken, guava is taken, fruit juice is made, tomato sauce is made, tomato puree is made and provided to the fishing factories in Walvis Bay. Our money should not flow out of this country. It was an insult that we import tomatoes of 10 million during the first quarter of last year. What is a tomato? That we cannot produce it and import it from South Africa. On one serious warning, if you want to produce tomatoes, do it throughout the year, not during the season, but have storages where you can produce it for 24 hours and 12 months a year, so that we stop the import from other side and local people do not produce. That equation we must also talk. We cannot talk only about positive things, we must also talk about negative things that will affect us negatively. During the year under review, the ministry made notable progress in supporting the local enterprises and driving industrialization efforts. One key initiative was the biomass project in Otjozondjupa, which, once fully operational, will produce animal feed, packaged charcoal, biocharcoal from invader bush. The project, funded by the government of Republic of Namibia, the Finnish government, and UNITO, will, with installation and commissioning, expect to be completed within the year. During the 24-25 financial year, the ministry facilitate liquor licenses, renewals across all judiciary offices in the region, except Okahanja, which is handled by Commerce Region. A total of 206 licenses were renewed at Otjiwarongo Magistrate and 80 at Grootfontein Magistrate, covering the various license types, including Zibin, restaurant, hotel, and special licenses. Furthermore, the ministry provided a wide range of business support services, including the business registration, licensing, SME certification, advisory services, and assistance with import and export application through the targeted outreach to all constitutions. Over 200 potential entrepreneurs were trained during the financial year. In addition, the ministry facilitated the issuance of liquor licenses across the region, ensuring the regulatory compliance and support to the hospital sector. The ministry's equipment aid scheme supported 22 SMEs to boost their operations, while the industrial upgrading and modernization programs assist 2 businesses despite the budget constraints. In total, 85 applications were received, and for ESA, and then 32 for IUMP, were 55 and 7 shortlisted respectively. However, resources limitations continues to hinder the full execution of the planned activities. In conclusion, Ministry of Mines and Energy remains dedicated to fostering sustainable economic development and creating job opportunities, and empowering of medium-sized enterprises, medium and small enterprises to transition into larger major enterprises through strategic implementation, and continue to engage with the stakeholders. We strive to reduce poverty and close the gap between the privileged and the underserved in our region. Quality education and training. Education. Education. Deliver, deliver, and to deliver. You know now, our late Minister of Education, yes, Yambo Abraham. Honorable members, fellow citizens, ladies and gentlemen, I now turn to education sector, a cornerstone of our regional development, the mother profession, too close to my heart, to my chest. Directorate of Education, Arts and Culture has made notable progress during the 24-25 financial year. Our region currently accommodates a total of 56,968 learners, comprising of 28,083 boys and 28,805 girls, supported by 1,959 dedicated and committed teachers, of which 561 are male and female teachers, 1,398. Give them a round of applause. One of the key achievements in this establishment of Grootfontein Primary School, which officially opened its doors at the start of 2025 academic year. In addition, 2 schools that were previously operating under temporary arrangement in Otjiwarongo, namely Otjiwarongo Project Primary School and Ovetobeni Project Secondary School, have successfully moved into their new constructed facilities as from the 15th of July 2024. On infrastructure development, the Directorate complete the construction of 42 classrooms and 1 ablution block across several towns in the region, benefiting schools in Grootfontein, Okahanja, Otjiwarongo. This development came at an investment of 22.3 million, which was significantly improved learning conditions in these areas. To address the widespread shortage of furniture in schools, the Directorate also rolled out the school furniture refurbishment programs. This initiative is in collaboration with the stakeholders like Khamuseb Secondary School. Let me pause. At Otavi, I was so privileged that I opened this vocational training school at Otavi, whereby the former principal of the school take initiative and ask German partners to open this school, where 3 classrooms were built, 1 for woodwork training, 1 for welding, 1 for electrical training, and the other one is a state-of-the-art hospitality training. And these learners, while they are at the first stage of secondary school, are introduced to vocational training. I want to reiterate today that let us move away with the printed mentality that vocational blue-collar job is only for stupid learners. I have a practical example of my son, whom I dropped at NIMT, who told me that he is not destined for that school, but today is the greatest boiler maker, and he even have his own tenders with Swakop uranium. That is an example. Vocational training provides you with job in the morning and job at the afternoon after school and during the weekends. And it is where we make most money. Therefore, let us expose our kids to vocational training. Tell them that it is the heart and soul of Namibia future manufacturing of our industry. Ladies and gentlemen, Kosteko Chiwarongo, Nemoda Training Center near Okanja, in Namibia Correctional Services, to date around 2,864 desks and 3,325 chairs have been refurbished and distributed to schools, while 1,014 desks and 1,312 chairs are still under repair. This project was allocated a total budget of 3.4 million, with current expenditure of 2.2 million, and continue to make a tangible difference in improving the learning environment across the region. Furthermore, through a dedicated budget of 11.3 million, the ministry initiated a major renovation works at Okakarara Primary, and Oganja Secondary, and Kalkville Primary School, all which were affected by wind and rain storms. This intervention is crucial in restoring safe and conducive environment conditions for our learners. Despite the commendable progress, the Directorate continues to face the challenges like aging infrastructure, overcrowded classrooms, hostel shortages, and limited funding for development and capital projects. However, the ministry committed to improve access and quality education through continuous investment and initiative solutions. Increased funding is essential to address the disparities and ensure the safe, conducive learning environment for all learners in the region. I want to reiterate it, that the schools in Okachoru, the schools at Kamatabati, the schools at Oganjiri were initially built for primary school and 1 hostel for 500 learners. Today you find 1,000 learners at all those schools. How do you accommodate a child in grade 1 together with a child in grade 11 in a hostel? Therefore, I plead again for availability of money and separation of these schools so that young children cannot feel intimidated. This is a clarion call because of the social decay that is at that kind of schools. After my visit to that schools, I want to reiterate that sometimes we must also talk about good things and bad things that are happening and plan forward. Quality health and social welfare. Honorable Chairperson, fellow citizens, during the year under review, we continue to make progress in strengthening access to quality health and social welfare services in Otjozondjupa region, Otjiwarongo district. Hospital currently has 2 specialists, an obstetrician and a pediatrician, the children doctor. The staffing structure at the hospital has been upgraded to that of a referral hospital with full implementation planned over the next 5 years. Medical officers are stationed at Otavi Health Center, Osire Clinic and the Mangedi Dune Health Care. Plans are in the place to assign a medical officer to GAM Clinic over the necessary infrastructure in these places. A significant milestone was near completion of the dialysis center at Otjiwarongo State Hospital, which will reduce the burden of the patient referrals to Wintu. Active community tuberculosis case finding was conducted at mining facilities, and facility-based tuberculosis screening was done at Otavi. The Ministry of Health and Social Services carried out regional cervical cancer awareness and screening outreach in Otjiwarongo, Grootfontein, Okakarara, Okaanja district, and total of 1,770 voluntary medical male circumcisions were conducted, while community HIV screening was done in all districts through the Total Control Epidemic Initiative. During the reporting period from April 2024 to March 2025, significant progress was made in HIV prevention and treatment across Otjozondjupa region. Infrastructure development also remains a key focus. The construction of Ompili clinics, funded by Butucolt at the cost of 6 million, was major investment. We installed oxygen points in Okaanja and Grootfontein district at the amount of 1.2 million, completed the ICU slab at Otjiwarongo State Hospital at the amount of $600,000, renovated official accommodation at Okakarara Hospital at the amount of $250,000, and made good progress at Okonjadu Clinic, which is 85% completed. Additionally, an art prefabricated facility was built in Grootfontein at the amount of $900,000. In terms of malaria control, the region recorded 442 confirmed cases during 2024-25 season, which Grootfontein accounting for highest urban at 272 cases. Unfortunately, 1 death was recorded in Okakarara. Indoor residual spraying was conducted in Okakarara and Grootfontein districts, where vector presence is confirmed. Coverage in Okakarara reached 88%, while Grootfontein achieved only 75%. Despite these efforts, the region has not achieved the recommended 85% spray coverage in the past 5 years due to refusal by community members that lock houses. Please unlock your houses. It is for your own safety and health. The health sector continues to face serious challenges. These include a shortage of functional emergency vehicles, our ambulances, limited transport to outreach and essential services, and a cumbersome procurement process that slow down the critical services delivery. Despite these constraints, the region remains committed to strengthening the health care access and delivery for all residents to Otjozondjupa. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand to differ with people that maybe through town planning took the site of the intermediate hospital to the graveyard side of Otjiwarongo. I want to request the town council to find land closer to the main road so that the millions and billions of the new infrastructure development can be visible, and so that access to hospital can be closer to the main road. Instead that we are driving all the way at the main street of Otjozondjupa or the Otjozondjupa town until we reach the hospital. That is a friendly request. Let us redesign our projects in municipalities and try to build our new infrastructure closer to the main road so that the distribution of our development should go from the main road into the bushes rather than start it in the bushes. Line of thought, it can be debated. Honorable Chairperson, the Office of the President, through the Division of Marginalized Community, continue to champion inclusive development for the son of our Twe and of our Chimba communities in Otjozondjupa region. Guided by 4 strategic pillars: and advocacy, education support, livelihood enhancement, and land distribution, the division remains committed to integrating these communities into the mainstream of economy. Through education support programs, 1,423 learners were transported across the region during the school holidays, opening, closing, and home weekends, while 60 students are being supported in the tertiary institutions. In August 2024, a new early child development center was completed in Chumkwe through Palms for Life and as a donation. Under the livelihood program, 75 dignified burials were conducted at the cost of $400,000, and the food was distributed quarterly to 5,785 registered households under the Sun Feeding Program. Despite high demands and logistic constraints, challenges persist, including illegal adoption of son children, lack of national documents, over-reliance on the feeding programs, and poor access to clean water in some resettlements, learner dropouts due to poverty-related hardships, landlessness, and limited transport remain serious concerns. We therefore recommend a registration and verification of beneficiaries, which active involvement from traditional authorities and constituency offices. Stronger interministerial cooperation and coordination also needed to extend services charges, housing, social grants, and documentation of these communities, uplifting the most vulnerable and building a Namibia where no one feels left out. I reiterated, government remains resolute in uplifting the most vulnerable and building a Namibia where no one feels left out, quoted and unquoted by our late President, Dr. Hage Geingob. Land, housing, and sanitation, with reference to municipalities. Before I touch this topic, as the newly appointed governor of Otjozondjupa region, I want to reiterate that town councils must sit down with those who elected them into that position. Prioritize the needs of those that voted them into power. I don't want to see unnecessary capital projects of self-benefication. I want to see the sewerage regulation systems. I want to see water structural developments. I want to see development of decent urban with water and electricity. I want to see formalization of informal settlements. I do not know why they are informal. My elder brother said, Belekuke di duramiga beti umske. It is, although you say it is a ghetto, the ghetto is my house. The first thing I need in this ghetto is sewerage. The second thing I want to see is water. The third thing I want to see in that ghetto is electricity. The basic access of basic needs must be done. At the same time, I said during my introductory speech, we have a problem of old sewerage system lines with asbestos. During my speech, I told you that numbers of the people increase in search for greener pastures through migration in towns. Therefore, we need bigger sewerage systems to be included. To my shock, 34 years down independence, at Chumkwe, there is no drop of sewerage into a pond to the size of 3 soccer fields. And the sewerage is blocked in front of the school. And nothing is being done. It is an eyesore. It is unhealthy. It is unhygienic. It is uncalled for. And waterborne diseases would go into that hostel. Cholera will break out. The first very much important capital project of Otjozondjupa Regional Council would be visited Chomkwe and rectify that situation so that sewerage would reach the pond for which it was made. Odavi had an oxidation dam that was made for lesser people, but still that oxidation ponds are overflowing, but still the municipality doesn't do anything. Go back and rectify. The message must be clear right from the beginning. This is what we want. Honorable Chairperson, the population of Okahanja has grown significantly from 25,000 to 64,000. Residents driven by rapid influx of people seeking economic opportunities I was talking about. The population surge has led to an increased demand for housing and service land. Unfortunately, the shortage of inadequate housing has resulted in incidents of illegal and land occupation. In response, the council has taken decisive steps by proclaiming new land and establishing service townships, such as Ekunde Extension 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and Extension 10 to address the housing backlog. However, the town continued to face serious infrastructure challenges due to aging services, where frequent water pipes burst and sewerage blockages caused by deteriorating asbestos pipelines. These issues underscore the current need for funding upgrade our basic infrastructure and provide decent service housing for the growing population of Okahanja. During the 24-25 financial year, the municipality of Okahanja undertook a number of key capital development projects aimed at improving infrastructure and service delivery. Amongst the largest, this is the construction of water and sewer services in Okahanja, Ekunde Extension 4 and 5, with total project budget of 32 million. To date, phase 1 and 2 have been completed with an expenditure of 11.2 million, while on outstanding 21 million is still required to complete phases 3 and 4 and 5. Similarly, the extension 10, although design, costing, documentations have been completed, only $455,000 has been spent, and over 37.5 million is still needed to begin the actual construction work due to the lack of allocated funding. The decommissioning of the old dam site and construction of the new remains a critical project due to proximity of Ekunde 4 and 5. This project has a budget of 25 million, but no fund was available for spending. Additionally, maintenance and repair work on oxidation pond and the sewerage main line from Oshetu to the oxidation ponds and commencement of the contractor appointments and have been spent thus far. However, a further 5.3 million required to complete the work. A parallel project which involves the construction of 675 millimeter diameter sewerage pipeline to replace the existing main line has similarly processed only through the design and documentation, which is over 25 million still needed for the implementation. At no web office of the municipality, the construction of the new boundary wall in the office renovation is completed successfully to the amount of 1.8 million. For cadastral survey covering various extensions in Ogahanja, only 100,000 has been spent from the 2 million budgeted for, leaving a shortfall of 1.8 million. The construction of the new fire station is also underway. Over 3.5 million spent on total budget of 6.3 million, and construction is in progress following the appointment of the consultants. In efforts to improve recreational spaces, the municipality is constructing a children's playground with works currently underway. Following contractor's appointment, over $347,000 have been spent, and the project requires a balance of $581,000 to reach completion. The upgrade, replacement, and the maintenance of water and a sewage line is another vital project where $360,000 has been utilized so far for the purchase of concrete sewer lines, which furthermore 2.74 million is still needed. A new cemetery also has been identified, and the procurement of the consultant has been finalized, although 1 million allocated for the site layout and environmental impact assessment remains unspent. Road development and maintenance are ongoing with the upgrading of gravel roads to bitumen currently under construction. From the total budget of 12.5 million, also close to 4 million has already been used, with the shortfall of 8.5 million. Lastly, in waste management, 1,000 refuse wheelie bins have been successfully procured, with 804,000 from and 1 million budget. While notable achievements have been made, the municipality continue to face challenges due to funding gaps, especially in large-scale infrastructure projects. Additionally, financial support remains critical to ensure the timely and effective delivery of essential services to the residents of Ogahanja. Okakarara Town Council, Honorable Chairperson, fellow residents, Okakarara Town Council remains committed to driving effective, efficient governance and inclusive development. During the reporting period, Town Council of Okakarara initiated a formulation of the key policies, including land policy to curb illegal land grabbing, a credit policy to enhance revenue collection, and a waste management policy to improve service delivery. The Council is also implementing a 5-year strategic plan to guide the town's development agenda. In addressing the housing and the land delivery, the Council entered into public-private partnership with Namibia Development Workshop and established 2 new extensions during the total of 739 plots. The Ohamakari project has made provision of 465 semi-service plots already, with 289 registered clients, and water reticulation and road services has been completed. A further 300 even has been allocated for formalization and existing formal settlements, while Extension 7, which target the middle income earners, is progressing well. We have 171 registered clients. Additionally, 92 houses were constructed under the National Housing Enterprise and 8 by private owners. Notably, first ever private school in the town is now operational and undergoing a further expansion. Council also completed the service land for Central Business District and Light Industrial Park, and unlocking over 200 even for the future investment. The town received ministerial approval to implement a flexible land tenure. The feasibility studies, environmental impact assessment, and clearance certificates are in place. And the planning process is now underway with the planning company soon to be appointed. The initiative aims to support the realignment and formalization of the informal settlement, particularly in Ogango. And in a bold move, Council resolved to sacrifice local authority services and dividends into another continued electrification efforts. This includes the formalized informal settlement and 40 private salt haven still to be electrified. The town is also awaiting final electrification works from Senorite for the newly completed built-in outlet. ShopRite, new state-of-the-art development, is also advancing the following Treasury approval. Furthermore, a private constructed hospital will soon begin operating, adding to healthcare facilities. In terms of road infrastructure, the council received funding from the Road Fund Administration and the road maintenance to upgrade a storm-damaged road. These upgrades were completed by March 2025. Upgrading additional roads in Pamwe and newly developed extension of Hamakari and Matutura also take place. The Ministry of Urban and Rural Development allocated 2 million during the 22-23 financial year for capital development and the fund used for completed of the electrical infrastructure in Extension 6, our designated central business district area. Human capital development remains priority. The council continues to provide internship opportunity for the students from local vocational training centers and create temporary employment for residents. Okakarara Town Council is proud to announce that the new vocational training center of Namibia Training Institution is underway for completion. Give them a round of applause. Yes. The Infrastructural Development Council has rolled out a prepaid water metering system to tackle accumulated debts and improve revenue collection. Today, nearly 90% of the town is on prepaid meters and major milestones in fiscal management. Despite these achievements, the town council continues to face a range of challenges. These include underfunding from central government for land planning and servicing, the increase in number of documented migrants, poor revenue collection due to high unemployment, and aging water infrastructure leading to significant water losses. The town also lacked funding for rehabilitation of the abattoir, the construction of the proper open market, and the development of the stormwater drainage system. The Build Together program is also stalled due to the lack of funding, while repayment of existing loan remains poor. Illegal land grabbing has also intensified, with up to 10% of land now occupied. To address the persisting housing and land issues, the council believes the best path is to attract investors to establish industries in Okakarara. This will create employment, boost household incomes, and enable our residents to afford and invest in housing, laying the foundation for stronger, more inclusive economy built through industrialization. Otjozondjupa municipality. Otjozondjupa community. Honorable Chairperson, fellow the residents, Namibia, the municipality of Otjozondjupa continues to make a notable stride into addressing the pressing issues of housing infrastructure and the community development. According to the 2018 IPPR report, housing in Namibia remains a complex and highly contested issue. Urban areas are under immense pressure due to rapid urbanization, and the formal housing market continues to fail the majority of the Namibians, particularly the low-income earners. Otjozondjupa, being the regional capital, has been growing at the rate of 1,200 residents per year for the last decades. A 2021 socio-economic study found that over 60% of our residents live in informal settlements, making our town the most densely populated in the region. To migrate this, the municipality has embarked on multiple land and housing projects aimed at different income groups. Under social housing, the formal settlement upgrade and formalization of the process is ongoing, and council has introduced the flexible land tenure process systems in partnership with the SAC Dwellers Federation of Namibia and the Namibian Housing Action Group. Through the initiative, 5 extensions of planned land are being allocated to the existing informal dwellers, and over 4 million has been secured for self-servicing. A reception area is also underway to accommodate a total of 5,000 residents awaiting formal plots. Council also approved the alienation of 104 plots to SAC Dwellers Federation and Namibia Housing Action Group, with land servicing already underway. Furthermore, in the effort to promote food security and economic independence, Council is converting Camp 3 into a small-scale horticulture scheme, which existed from the NEM Power, which drilled a borehole for the farmers. Under the decentralized Build Together program, 25 out of 41 planned houses under phase 12 has been completed. The installation of sewer system for 9 Avon has also been finalized, while other challenges remain, such as unoccupied completed houses and the need for training and DB&T committee members. Progress continues. The municipality also signed a partnership agreement with the Namibian Housing Enterprise aimed at construction of affordable houses in Otjozondjupa Extension 8 and the planned Heroes Park extension. However, the lack of funds to fully service the existing areas like Ombili remains a challenge. A council has also allocated an additional 100 Avon to SAC Dwellers Federation of Namibia in Otjozondjupa Extension 12 with the long-term repayment plan, but again faces the challenge of limited service land. On formal housing, significant achievements have been made through projects like Freedom in Heroes Park, where 340 houses have been completed out of the targeted 73 houses. Our private-public partnership with developers, Chache and Julius and IUM Investment, CC, have successfully solved residential haven. Through uptake remains, although uptake remains slow due to economic challenges and bureaucratic delays. Considered also in partnership with Developmental Workshop Namibia to serve land in Extension 24 and 25. These areas, once developed, will help decongested informal settlement and provide housing to more residents. Council has secured 14 million from Ministry of Urban and Rural Development for bulk water services support these developments. The first phase of construction is set to begin by June 2025 and includes servicing the planned reception area for relocated residents. In a bold move towards sustainability, the Council is spearheading the wastewater treatment and waste-to-energy plant projects, which financially support from the African Development Bank. This project currently is in preparation phase. It's expected to yield a feasibility report by the end of this financial year and attract international and local developers for implementation. Infrastructure remains a key focus area. Phase 2 of the upgrading of the Heng Willem Street and Rikompi Kandanga Street is underway to go funded by Road Funds Administration. The 6.2 million investment includes the interlock paving and stormwater management to relieve the traffic pressure and prevent future damage. Furthermore, 71 million tripartite agreement between Road Fund Administration, Roads Authority, and municipalities supported comprehensively road maintenance over the 3-year period. Road infrastructure remains a cornerstone of economic development and service delivery in our region. Otjozondjupa Town Council has made significant progress in upgrading and maintaining the critical roads under multi-phase project funded in collaboration with the Roads Fund Administration. Lot 1 and Lot 2 contracts have been already awarded, and there are 3 progressing well, while Lot number 3 is still under bid. Completion of the second phase is anticipated by the end of November 2025. These ongoing road infrastructure improvements are vital not for improvement mobility, but safety, but for the enhancing economic activities and the overall beautiful and functionality of our town. The regional leadership remains fully committed to ensuring the quality infrastructure that meets the needs of growing population and support their long-term development and economic activities. The address water supply issue, the council has been replaced Karundu Water Tower at 1.5 million and plans to replace the Bling Water Tower at 1.5 million. Council has also allocated budget for upgrading the aging water and sewer system to address monthly water losses and estimated at 1 million. NEM Water has been engaged and contractor has been appointed and enhance the efficiency of the water meter system. On the social front, the council continues in its corporate social responsibility with the targeted programs. Pensioners and indigent households receive a monthly rebate of 3,000 liters of water to ease their financial burden. The multi-purpose center support orphans and vulnerable children through the feeding schemes and school-related assistance, while the home-based care program offers a vital medical and emotional support to the patients who have cancer, tuberculosis, and HIV and AIDS. The developments highlight the municipality's commitment to sustainable growth and inclusive service delivery and improving the quality of all residents. As we move forward, the challenges remain significant, but so in our resolve to build a better, more resilient Otjozondjupa for the benefit of all. Town Council of Otavi, Tribe. Honorable Chairperson, esteemed honorable councillors, and the residents of Otjozondjupa, residents of Otjozondjupa region, I now present to you the developmental progress and the ongoing efforts of Otavi Town Council for financial year 2024-2025. The council has taken several impact infrastructure projects aimed at enhancing service delivery and improving the living conditions of our residents. Firstly, the Otavi Town Council successfully completed phase 1 of the bulk water infrastructure project at a cost of 5.5 million. The phase includes the construction of an elevated water tent and the connection of existing boreholes to the town bulk water system. Officially handed over was on 30th of April 2025 by the Honorable Minister of Urban and Rural Development, Honorable James Sangwaza. This project aims to ensure that Otavi can supply at least 60% of the town's water, reducing both dependency syndrome from NEM water and the town's water debts. Phase 2 of this project, estimated at 9.8 million, and it is set to begin in 2025-2026 financial year with the support of B2 called Namibia and the Ministry of urban and rural development. I will fail in my duty if I don't ask you to give a round of applause to Buitu Colt for their efforts. The council also embarked on household sewerage connection project, allocating 250,000 to eliminate the septic tank system in town. So far, 79 houses have been connected, with the remaining connection planned for the next financial year. Through road administration funding, the council implemented its annual road maintenance programs, which includes potholes repairs in Central Business District, Twipe Township, and Otavi Extension 4. It also covered the speed hump construction and traffic sign procurement, while the budget was 1.09 million. Works to the value of 1.49 million were executed. In the upcoming year, the re-graveling of major roads will begin, carried out by in-house team. To comply with the Local Authorities Act, Council contracted 6 property solutions to provide valuation roll services for 24-28 period at the cost of 384,000. One of the key projects this year is the servicing of the new Cairo settlement, which is 12 million contract awarded to Mawila Technical Services for the provision of water and sewer services. Completion is expected in October 2025. Responding to the rapid population growth, which has seen Otavi expand from 6,000 to 10,700 residents, 60% of whom live in informal settlement. The council has budgeted 1 million to formalize Harambe in Khamuseb settlement. Enumeration funding is completed and digitized planning is underway. Residents will be relocated to Cap and Bow. And the new reception area where bulk water services construction has already commenced. The decentralized Build Together program has also been revived. And the council is currently constructing 30 houses at a cost of 2.4 million. Furthermore, the council is set to begin additional projects before the close of the financial year, including the Sedem Cemetery fencing of $50,000, park and playground development for $200,000, construction of refuse bangers, $100,000, pump station automatization, $400,000, and town planning and servicing the services value at $2 million. In total, capital budget for 24-25 financial year stands at 21.4 million. Despite this progress, Otavi Town Council continues to face significant challenges. The town grapples with 3 informal settlements, namely Harambe, Cap and Bow, and Khamuseb, are not fully serviced due to budget constraints. The council also carries water debts of 71 million to name water, compounded by water losses of approximately 62%. The town oxidation ponds, as I previously alluded to, originally designed for fewer people, 2,500 people, are now severely overwhelmed. Affluent overflow poses serious health risks to both residents and environment. While the wastewater treatment plan has been designed and is estimated to cost about 29 million, the council lacks the funding and implement this urgent project. Lastly, I call on the residents of Otavi to continue honoring the municipal obligations. The council is currently owed 47 million in unpaid debts by the residents and service charges. And these funds are critical for sustaining the improving service delivery. Last but not least, the injection of the private sector into towns, Woermannsbrock built a state-of-the-art shop complex in Otavi. Give them a round of applause. Grootfontein Municipality. Ochivanda chong kweongoroyankuli. Honorable Chairperson, fellow honorable councillors, and residents, it is my honor to report on the progress, achievements, and challenges faced by the municipality of Grootfontein during the 24-25 financial year. This year, the council received a total budgetary allocation of 23.5 million, courtesy to the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development and the Road Fund Administration. These funds have been vital in advancing the critical infrastructure development and service delivery projects within the town. Amongst the key projects, Council has made a commendable progress with the construction of social housing for the single quarters inhabitants. The project aimed at relocation of residents currently living in dilapidated single quarters, unhygienic circumstances, inhumane circumstances. Out of the 100 planned low-cost housing units, 65 houses have already been constructed, and the external works, including sewer, water connections, have been completed. This initiative has been made possible through the budget of $8 million, reduced from the initial $11 million. Upgrading of informal settlement. Settlements particularly designed and technically documentation of the portions 81, 82, and 83 for reception area is now 67% completed. We have designs of tender documentation and finalized. 5.7 million has been spent so far, and further invoices are under review for repayment consideration in Woodland proper, and work is underway to provide water and sewer reticulation. The project valued at 8.5 million is 20% completed, with external work for 65 houses already underdeveloped. This project has implemented in-house in collaboration with the local SMEs. The project commences in February 2025 and is expected to be completed in June 2025. The resealing and maintenance of the selected roads in Grootfontein has been fully completed. This roads maintenance project covered approximately 6 kilometers of bitumen roads at a total of 3.4 million, funded by Road Fund Administration. The council is also constructing the fire station, which is commenced on the 10th of March 2025. And it is scheduled, March 2025, 26. And it is scheduled for completion in 10 December 2025. This critical emergency service infrastructure is funded to the tune of 5.4 million. Unfortunately, the provision of electrical reticulation for Omulunga Extension 7 aimed at connecting 315 Erven is yet to commence, although 791,000 has been paid to design the work. The actual construction has been delayed due to procurement approval setbacks, which moved to February to October. Despite notable progress, Grootfontein continues to face challenges include outdated electrical system and pump stations, theft of manhole covers, and insufficient funding for compliant landfill sites. The lack of designated open market has led to congestion in central business district, while vandalism and flood damage and road strain service delivery, additionally to social housing units constructed, remain inadequate to fully accommodate those awaiting relocation from single quarters in line of these challenges. I call upon the central government and development partners and the residents to alight to support the efforts of the Grootfontein municipalities. May I pause here? I recommend the municipality to talk to Namib Rail to have access of the rail area on the right-hand side of the town and develop their state-of-the-art trade centers and develop business projects closer to the people, so that those people who are sitting in the middle of the main road can be reallocated in that open space. And the next shopping mall would not be built to the graveyard site, but along the main road, so that you can tap off from those that are visiting the town on their way to the north, to Zambezi and to Okavango region. Grootfontein municipality, continuing collaboration is essential if we are to realize our shared vision of well-served service economically inclusive and resilient Grootfontein. I want to use this opportunity to commend the private sector for bringing life and economic livelihood back into the town of Grootfontein. I commend the Tulenge group of investors who built 300 houses in private in Grootfontein. I want to commend the Kaya Investment Group that are currently busy building a lodge with 24 units. I want to commend again the Kaya Investment Group building Omulunga Shopping Complex, where they are going to construct a shopping mall for Spar. I want to commend the same Kaya group again for construction of the open space for more private houses near the Grootfontein Hospital and Khamuseb Road. They are worth commendable for. I want to commend Shoppies for buying the land after the people of the single quarters will clear that place to build a shopping complex of a state-of-the-art nature. Give the round of applause to them. Honorable members, during 24-25 financial year, Otjozondjupa Regional Council continued to mandate to plan, coordinate, and implement development projects across the region, with the final phase of strategic plan stemming from 2015 to 2017-2018 at all extended to 2024-25 financial year. Otjozondjupa Regional Council received a total development budget allocation of 6 million. These funds were distributed among the 4 settlements addressing critical services infrastructure needs. In Kalkveld settlement, Omuramba Wanjo, an amount of 1.5 million was allocated for water reticulation in Dinosdal and extension 1, which actually expansion existing, the allocation of over 2 million due to additional requirements. Okonjetu settlement received 1.5 million for the water reticulation and spent over 1.5 million. Okanjira Ovitoto settlement was allocated 1 million for the first phase of the landfill construction, with an actual expenditure of over 750,000 to Okamatapati. 1 million for allocation for sewerage rehabilitation. However, only $130,580 was spent, as consultants were still in initial stages. In addition, to the development budget, the Road Fund Administration allocated 1.2 million for the upgrading of the roads and streets in settlement areas. Chumkwe settlement was selected for its intervention. However, the appointment of contractor faced difficulties and could not complete the work. Despite these efforts, the council faced several challenges. The allocated funds remain insufficient to meet the growing service delivery needs of the region. Again, I urge decentralization of funds. A shortage of technical personnel has forced reliance on consultants, which in turn reduce the budgeted funds for the projects. There is also a noted lack of community participation and ownership in development projects, and incidents of infrastructure vandalism continue to undermine the process. Lastly, the vast geographical nature of the region, particularly in remote areas such as Kham and Chumkwe, represent logistical difficulties in delivering a timely service. We have reference to this text. Our region is fast. The state of the region address cannot be done in 1 hour and 20 minutes. We want to cover the whole region so that the residents knows what the government is doing, what the councillors are doing, what the Otjozondjupa Regional Council is doing, so that you know exactly what is the pace of our development from the Republic of Namibia and the government, the 8th government under the leadership of Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not business as usual. It is not a half-cooked kind of a thing. It must be well done. These challenges highlight the need for increased funding, stronger community engagement, and enhanced capacity building to ensure that every resident in Otjozondjupa receives the basic services they deserve. I repeat, the challenges highlight the need for increased funding, stronger community engagement, and enhanced capacity building to ensure that every resident of Otjozondjupa receive the basic services they deserve. Service delivery, and deliver, and deliver, and deliver. Honorable members, during the year under review, the Regional Council continued to implement rural development initiatives aimed at improving the livelihood of our communities under the various support programs. Several projects are successfully funded and implemented across the region's constituency. In Chumkwe constituency, over 3 million was invested in community-based projects, including the renovation of Chumkwe Community Hall, debusing of Gamsport Field, road clearing in Kukuruze Pause. Kukuruze was a piece of land given by Chief Gomakao Bobo to his people who came and resettled from Okavango. I was touched that these people has developed a garden project to the size of 4 soccer fields and are committed to produce horticulture projects. It will be on our website and you could see. And I ask the difference between me being also a Basan speaking background. How are others struggling and you are succeeding? They said, we learned it in Okavango and we are giving this from generations to generations. Give them a round of applause. Upon my appointment, I made sure that I give them a 2-liter diesel engine that I delivered myself to them. It was a joyful occasion. They have been singing and dancing around me. And when people appreciate something, It is only God that appreciates thy joy. Support to Gum Kindergarten and the establishment of Leather Warehouse through the One Region, One Initiative in Gum. Chumkwe also benefited the construction of rural sanitation facilities. Let me pause again here. There is a place called Okadera Yahora, where the World Food Project give 240 head of cattle to Pasan-speaking people. This project has been sabotaged by thy neighbors. 240 head of cattle has been stolen. The water infrastructure has been stolen, and these people are in total destitution. The ownership of this project was not given to the people, but was managed by those people that we believe they are technically experienced, skilled, and expertise. We want to give the second livelihood to this project. Give the ownership to the owners. Put security guys at the water infrastructure. And these people must reorganize themselves again and have a second livelihood. Give them a round of applause. Grootfontein constituency received about $41,000 for Muhepu Merekanje, a total entrepreneur, a local entrepreneur under the microfinance scheme, Otjozondjupa. Again, Otjozondjupa Regional received this funding. Give them a round of applause. Very good. Otjozondjupa constituency received about $342,000, which was used for projects such as fencing the Kalkveld sport field, supporting the Kalkveld bakery through the rural improvement scheme, and funding the small-scale enterprise under the microfinance of microfinance scheme. And again, when we talk about Otjozondjupa, we are talking of the mountains of Parases, Khamuseb. We are talking about Hope. We are talking about Khamuseb. We are talking about Arab Ice. We are talking about the great lions. Udagaune. We are talking about the Parases mountain, that was led by Gama Khabeb, with his golden bow and arrow. That is how we benefited through these programs. Odavi, Khoaeb Aus, Chavizes Aus, Otavi, Chavizes Aus, Khoaeb Aus, that belong to Anganganup, the great lion. Constituency was allocated about $80,000 for supporting the local entrepreneurs, including the FO Handcraft, Me Esther Corner, and Kaimbasen Photo Studio under the microfinance scheme. Otavi, give yourself a round of applause. Okagarara constituency received over 2.6 million, primarily directed towards the construction of the toilets under the rural sanitation program, and supported the Ogaseri Garden initiative through the microfinancing. Okanja constituency was supported with $65,000 for the Sidadi meat project under the microfinance scheme, while Omatako constituency received over $24,000 used to support the Mative car wash and Gambekura Farmers Association. These rural development efforts reflected the council's continuous commitment to improve living conditions, creating to create employment and empowering the local communities across Otjozondjupa region. Energy sector. During the 24-25 financial year, significant progress was made in expanding and upgrading electricity infrastructure across the Otjozondjupa region. In partnership with the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, and with their own funding, Senorate invested about 9 million to electricity. 7 localities benefited from communities in Otjiwarongo, Kalkveld, Grootfontein, Okakrara, Otjozondjupa, and Okahanja. These electrification projects successfully connected 3,075 households and created 123 job opportunities during the construction, in addition to a total of 25.1 million. That was committed to capital projects aimed at improving the reliable, safe, and capacity electricity supply network. This includes the ongoing upgrade of Otjiwarongo in Khamuseb and the completed establishment of the dedicated load center of Otjiwarongo State Hospital, meant to improve the reliability of the support in town. In Otavi, traffic and street lighting infrastructure were improved, while Okakrara benefited from upgrade of street lights and solar lighting along the main road to OPP substation in Okahanja. It has also been upgraded to improve the network capacity to transfer to industrial areas. Furthermore, GAM and Makata solar PV system was successfully relocated to the Otjozondjupa Clinic to boost the healthcare services. This initiative created 65 in additional employment opportunities and reflect continuous investment into sustainable energy solutions for the regions. I want to reiterate that the people on the road from Otjozondjupa to Otjituo are in a burning need for electricity, and they are granted the office of the governor each and every week. Therefore, I will need a flexible budget system and implementation of the needs of our people. Road infrastructure, Honorable Chairperson, esteemed Honorable Councillors and fellow citizens. Within the Otjozondjupa region, our road network totals to 7,571 kilometers. This includes 1,253 kilometers bitumen, tierpad, 4,431 kilometers of gravel roads, 1,725 kilometers of earth tracks, and 161 kilometers of proclaimed roads. The road infrastructure plays a critical role in linking communities, facilitating trade, driving socio-economic growth, and for health care facilitation. For 25-26 financial year, the Ministry of Works and Transport is set to implement the major road construction project, which is upgrading the Okahanja-Hochfeld Otjozondjupa to Otjozondjupa Road, spanning over 196 kilometers. The procurement for the detailed design is currently underway, and the project will be funded by the government of the Republic of Namibia. Hence, I call on, as I did it with the year plan on last Monday, I want to see the road between Grootfontein, Gam, and Chumkwe to be completed with urgency. At the same time, I want a gravel road from Gam to Otjipahewa so that we can resettle our Namibian citizens that came back as our heroes, the people the children of the children who survived the genocide. We want to resettle the people which went through the dry desert of Kalahari. Over Nachiba Odonje, they must be resettled properly at Oshipahewa. Chief Gambadembe give a land together with Chief Bobo, a land of 200,000, not 2,000, 200,000 hectares of piece of land in Oshipahewa area to resettle our people. There are still 8 people standing at Botswana border with 800 cattle to bring it into our country. It boosts our economy. One cow's value is 20,000. We want this road with immediate effect so that these people can be resettled. And we want to ask the Ministry of Land and Resettlement to redouble their efforts and drill more boreholes of that heroic citizens that came back from Botswana as our heroes and heroines after the genocide massacre that started at Hamakari. During the past 2 financial years, 23, 24, and 25, the successful completed regraveling of roads from Okakarara to Ogangaho and Okakarara to Ogahitwa. And in 2024-25 alone, 20 kilometers and 16.7 kilometers were completed respectively under the Road Fund administration. Despite this achievement, several important capital projects planned under 2023-20 to 2027 strategic plan have been put on hold due to budgetary constraints. This includes the preservation and rehabilitation and the road safety improvement of Otjozondjupa and Otjozondjupa roads, the Grootfontein-Rooidak gate of low volume. The contractor is already on site and will proceed to additional roads, including the junction road from M101 to Osire, and then D3022 around Farm Cope. Road marking projects are also underway between Otjiwarongo and Otavi. They must broaden that road because there are more accidents that are taking place there. And from Oganjatu to Grootfontein, including the road to Okakarara. Furthermore, bidding and documentation for upgrading the Okamatapati branch lines has been completed, though funding is still pending for 25-26 financial fiscal year. Funding shortfalls continue to hinder the implementation of the critical road development projects. In addition, heavy rainfall has severely affected sections of the road infrastructure, creating the further need for urgent rehabilitation efforts. Despite the obstacles, we remain committed to improvement in road connectivity and the safety of all the residents of Otjozondjupa as we strive to build a region that is accessible, mobile, and economical competitive. In conclusion, the region continues to stand out as a region of excellence and opportunities, a place where collaborative services delivery in standard practice in all support of the socio-economic progress of our beloved nation. The way forward. Let us take hands. I don't want to see municipality operating in a silo on its own. I don't want to see the CEO of a municipality operating in silo on his own. I don't want to see the chief regional officer doing his work in silo alone. I don't want to see the regional council chairperson to do his work in isolation alone. I don't want to see the regional councillors doing their work alone. I want a comprehensive collective effort whereby all the institutions should report to the governor, so that the governor is the head of the region, and the ear and the eye of the president would report properly to the president. I am not in a position to report on the state of the region address on issues for which I was not consulted during the budget provision in all the sectors of our administration. Therefore, we must take each other's hands, and we must take the interests of the people that we are serving at our hearts, and not self-interest, but rather be the kind of the captains that will leave the boat if the boat sank. And remember one of the great philosophies: know whom you allow on your boat. Others will be there to dig a hole in your boat to sink. With these remarks, I thank you.
Can you give our Honorable Governor a round of applause once again?